Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to staying informed, and today, well, we're digging into something huge. AI's impact on accounting audits. We're looking at how this tech is shifting auditors from, traditional watchdogs to more like real-time AI-powered analysts. And the pace is just incredible. When you look at the source material, AI adoption in accounting firms globally, it's shot up. Went from only 9% in 2024 to, get this, 41% in 2025. That's more than quadrupled in a year. Plus, nearly 80%, 77% to be exact, plan to boost their AI spending soon. This isn't just tweaking things, it feels like a total overhaul.
It really is. And it helps to understand the why behind it. Think about old school auditing. It was so manual, lots of human judgment, yes, but critically, it relied on sampling.
Sampling, meaning they only looked at a fraction of the transactions.
Exactly. And with today's businesses generating just mountains of data, well, looking at a small sample meant you could easily miss major fraud or significant errors. Plus, it was slow, expensive, and honestly, prone to human errors. Things like confirmation bias.
Where you kind of look for what you expect to find.
Precisely. The sheer volume and complexity just swamped the old methods. Technology had to step in.
Right. You can't just check the tail and assume the whole elephant is fine. So, okay, let's unpack the tech itself. What's actually driving this shift?
Fundamentally, we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, simulating human smarts like learning and problem solving, but in machines. And the key players here, the main techniques shaking up auditing, are neural networks, NNs, and deep learning.
Okay, neural networks. Sounds complex. What are they in simple terms?
Think of them like simplified models inspired by the brain. They have these interconnected nodes like neurons. You train them on massive amounts of financial data. They learn the patterns. They figure out what normal looks like for a specific company.
Ah, so once it knows normal, anything else sticks out.
Exactly. It flags deviations, anomalies, things that could signal risk or errors or even fraud. And it does it with, well, incredible precision.
Okay, makes sense. Building a baseline, then spotting the outliers. So where does deep learning fit into this picture?
Deep learning is, you could say, a more advanced type of neural network. It uses many layers, that's the deep part. This structure lets it model really complex, intricate relationships in the data, things humans might miss. It automates tasks that used to need serious expertise.
Right, I saw a mention of that. Using specific deep learning models like CNNs, aren't those usually for images?
They are convolutional neural networks.
Yeah.
But they're being adapted. Now they can analyze unstructured stuff like reading scanned invoices or receipts, categorizing them automatically.
Wow, and things like RNNs, recurrent neural networks, for time series data, like cash flow analysis.
Exactly. And there are other cool examples too, like autoencoders.
Autoencoders, how do they work in audits?
Okay, so an autoencoder is a type of NN trained to do one thing really well. Take input data, compress it down, and then reconstruct it perfectly. If it tries to reconstruct a financial transaction, say, and the output is significantly different from the original input, bam, it flags it.
So a deviation in reconstruction signals a problem, potential fraud.
Precisely. It's an immediate red flag. Catches things in milliseconds that might take a human auditor weeks if they ever found it manually. It makes verification almost continuous.
That kind of power, that precision, it really changes everything. So let's talk results. Does this actually translate into, measurable benefits for the firms, better efficiency, more accuracy?
Oh, absolutely. The data we looked at is pretty clear on this. The research confirms real systematic improvements. Let's start with efficiency. AI automates all those repetitive time-sucking tasks. Data entry, sorting transactions, that heavy lifting. Gone or vastly reduced.
And that speeds things up.
Dramatically. There's solid statistical proof. We saw a correlation heat map showing a really strong negative link minus 0.69 between how good the AI is at finding fraud and how long the audit takes.
Wait, negative correlation? So better fraud detection means faster audits. That seems counterintuitive.
It does at first glance, but it means the AI pinpoints the critical issues much quicker. Auditors aren't wasting time chasing ghosts. They focus where it matters. So yes, better detection leads to faster completion.
Okay, that makes sense. Speed comes from quality, not at the expense of it. That's a key takeaway.
And the data confirms it. T-tests show these time reductions are statistically significant and consistent. It's automation paying off.
All right, so efficiency is up. What about the other side of the coin, accuracy and overall audit quality? What's the connection there?
It's very strong. Remember, AI processes the whole data set, not just samples. That inherently reduces the risk of human error and boosts reliability. Statistically, we see a strong positive correlation, about 0.60, between fraud detection accuracy and audit quality. As the AI gets better at spotting risks, the overall quality rating of the audit goes up too.
So better tech directly leads to a better, more reliable audit outcome.
Yes. And we see this in practice too. The sources mention HSBC using NNs, finding dodgy credit card activity with amazing accuracy stuff older systems missed. And Deloitte used NNs to uncover embezzlement that had gone unnoticed before. It shows the tech can cut through really complex financial manipulation.
That's impressive. And industry-wide, is there a trend?
Definitely. If you look at the trend lines for the big firms, Deloitte, PwC, EY, KPMG, all of them show a clear upward path in audit quality between 2015 and 2023.
And there was a specific year mentioned,
Right.
2017.
Right. The data seems to pinpoint 2017 as a kind of turning point.
Right.
It suggests that's when early strategic AI adoption really started to lift the standards across the board.
Okay, so the benefits are clear. Faster, more accurate, higher quality audits. But no technology is perfect. Let's shift gears to the challenges, the risks. What's the flip side here?
There are definitely significant challenges. Probably the biggest technical one right now is what people call the black box problem.
The black box,
Okay.
meaning you can't see how it works inside.
Essentially, yes. Deep learning models with all those complex layers can be really opaque. Auditors often find it hard to explain exactly how the AI reached a specific conclusion, like flagging something as high risk.
And that's a problem
Because
because
auditors need to justify their findings to regulators, to clients, sometimes even in court. They can't just say, well, the AI said so. If you can't explain the reasoning, you can't really stand behind the conclusion professionally. It undermines the whole process.
so we need ways to make the AI's thinking understandable.
Exactly. That's driving a huge push for something called explainable AI or XAI. Developing techniques to, peer inside that black box and translate the complex algorithms into human understandable logic.
Makes sense. If the tech challenges transparency, what about the legal and ethical side? Like, who's responsible if the AI messes up?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And frankly, the regulations are struggling to keep up. There's a definite regulatory lag. Think about it. If an AI incorrectly flags a company for fraud, causing damage, or worse, fails to detect massive fraud, who carries the can?
Is it the auditor who used the tool, the company that built the AI, the firm that implemented it?
We don't have clear answers yet. Bodies like FASB or the SEC are working on it, but the legal framework is still evolving. Right now, the human auditor still signs off. But if their main analysis tool is this powerful, yet potentially opaque black box, well, it puts enormous pressure on that signature. Liability is shifting.
And what about bias? Can these AI systems pick up, well, prejudices from the data they learn on?
That's a huge ethical concern. AI learns from historical data. And historical data reflects past human decisions, which, let's be honest, sometimes include biases. If the training data has flaws, the AI will learn them. It might even amplify them. You could end up with systems that unfairly target certain types of transactions or companies.
Creating a sort of disparate impact, as they call it.
Precisely. It means we need constant vigilance, auditing the AI itself to ensure it remains fair and impartial over time. It's an ongoing process.
Okay, one more piece of data analysis that caught my eye. You mentioned this sort of paradox about spending too much time actually hurting the audit, the diminishing returns paradox.
Yes. That was fascinating. The scatter plot analysis showed something interesting at the higher end of audit times. Audits that went on for a very long time, say over 300 hours, actually started showing lower precision in fraud detection. The accuracy dropped, sometimes below 60%.
So more human hours didn't mean better results after a certain point. Why would that be?
It suggests that maybe the AI has already done the heavy lifting, identifying the key risks. Piling on more human hours might lead to auditor fatigue, maybe information overload, or maybe auditors start overanalyzing minor points just because the time is budgeted. Whatever the reason, it strongly suggests a point of diminishing returns for purely manual effort.
Which really reinforces that idea of synergy, right? Not replacement.
Exactly. The machine handles the scale, the speed, the pattern recognition. The human applies judgment, focuses on the strategic implications, investigates the anomalies, the AI flags. It's a partnership.
Okay, this has been a really insightful deep dive. Let's try to synthesize. AI, especially NNs and deep learning, has fundamentally transformed auditing. We've moved from slow, sample-based checks to this continuous, comprehensive oversight. Big gains in efficiency, big gains in accuracy, and the human auditor's role. It's shifting upwards, becoming more strategic, focused on interpretation, judgment, managing those complex risks the AI uncovers.
That sums it up perfectly. And while the adoption is booming, remember, 73% of regular users report better than expected results, investment is soaring. There's one final major risk we need to highlight. It's called the magnification effect.
Magnification effects. That sounds potentially bad. Explain that.
It's about scale. Think about it. One human auditor might make a few mistakes handling, say, hundreds of transactions, manageable usually. But one AI system, it processes millions of transactions daily. If there's just one tiny error in its programming, one flaw in its logic, one bias in its data,
That single mistake gets repeated millions of times.
instantly, it magnifies a small coding bug or a data bias into a potentially massive systemic problem.
Yeah.
A small error can ripple out and cause huge financial consequences very, very quickly.
Which demands incredibly strict testing and validation before these systems go live and continuous monitoring after.
Absolutely critical. The potential for amplified errors is enormous.
So, bringing it all together, AI adoption in auditing quadrupled in 1 year. The tech offers huge benefits, but comes with black box issues, regulatory lag, bias risks, and this terrifying magnification effect. It really leaves us with a critical question for you, the listener, to think about. Given this breakneck speed of technological change, how fast do regulators, the firms themselves, and yes, you need to adapt the governance, the ethics, the oversight to keep pace, how do we manage these powerful tools responsibly before a magnified error becomes a catastrophe?